right.
Hello.
Welcome back. The light seems really bright today.
That's you.
Sorry about that.
You are the lighting
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. The back. Behind the scenes person, right?
Yes.
Before we get going, we're going to just remind you that we would really appreciate it if you would write a review.
Oh.
Right?
We learned something. Turns out Spotify stopped doing that in May.
Right. But you can
Didn't know
still
that.
rate it.
You can still rate it, but you can't write a review on Spotify.
But you can on
Don't know why.
Apple.
You can on Apple.
So reviews are really helpful for us and our ability to get this podcast out to other people who need it.
Yeah.
People who are, just learning about cancer themselves, or maybe you've been at it for a long time, but you guys can help us increase the amount of people who see this or, hear about it.
And we know it's being shared, and that's awesome. But, yeah, I think the reviews just pick up the pace.
The reviews
for all
and
of
ratings, right, for that really help that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So today I thought we would talk about kind of things that you can do in 5 minutes to build momentum, right? So I think, and also maybe to feel a little bit better about yourself. I get it that either you might have limited energy or limited time, but there's kind of always this want or desire to take care of yourself and to be able to, do more for yourself. But it doesn't always have to be in big pieces.
Well, I think that's what this is when you don't have time.
Yeah.
These are perfect.
Yeah. So the first thing I just is meditate. You can meditate for 5 minutes. And sometimes we talk about meditation and I think true meditation is the lack of thought, right? But visualization's cool too. That's much more my line. I need something to be it's really hard for me to just empty my brain of a thought. So a visualization, which is, helping me to think about the things I want to think about in terms of health or healing or just positivity, whatever it is, are helpful. So
Yeah, I think meditation's hard for anybody.
I agree.
That does not come natural.
I agree.
People that meditate quite often have done it for years and years and years and years and have practiced and have gotten good at it.
Yeah.
So it's just like doing something athletic. I mean, you suck at it the first time and then you practice a bunch and you get better at it.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what I think, with meditation or anything, it's easy also to kind of go, oh, I don't have much time, but 5 minutes is enough time, or just a visualization that's a couple of minutes long. Sometimes I think we really discount the fact that even just doing something for a short period of time can be, effective. And, it's definitely more helpful than not doing anything, right?
Yeah. And obviously when we're talking about the visualization, we're talking about a positive visualization.
Yeah.
And if you're in the heat of treatment or bad news or all of that, that's difficult too. Because those things are those negatives creep back in your brain every 7 seconds. So
it is, but I do find especially when I was doing scans a lot more often, it was really helpful to have been doing visualization on a regular basis because I could kind of take that with me when I was laying on the scanner and, freaking out often, right? So then I could kind of take some of those words, those mantras with me and get through, that time. So, yeah. The next one is journal. I mean, again, we can just journal in less than 5 minutes. I usually start out with things I'm thankful for, and then it goes into either, goals that I'm working on or things maybe just about what's happening, or sometimes it's a brain dump. Sometimes it's I don't even know. I just am writing. But just 5 minutes of journaling. So
we were forced to do that in high school.
Yeah.
And I hated it. And I literally would write, I don't know what to write. I don't know
that's
what to
okay.
But that's what she made us do.
Yeah.
And it was just painful. Thanks, Mrs. Shannon.
How much did you learn from Mrs. Shannon?
A ton. But I learned that I'm not a journaler.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right.
The list is long, though. I don't have to journal.
Right. No, again, you can pick and choose from all of these, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about movement. There's a lot of different things you can do for, again, just start with 5 minutes of movement, be it walking. And if it's, if you live in an area where going outside is hard, walk in place, walk around your house, walk around your apartment, whatever it is. Walking's good. Stretching. I think we have spent a lot of time lately thinking and talking about how important stretching is. And oh my gosh, if you don't do it, you lose it. Yeah.
And this is especially as you get older. We're really,
Yes.
talking to you people in your 50s, 60s, 70s, if
Oh my
stretching is not a
goodness.
part of your life, you're losing it. And that's
are.
when injuries happen. And you know what injuries make you immobile. And immobilization is never good for our body. And it's bad. So core strength and stretching are so stinking important. And both of those things you can do in a pretty small space.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say without a lot of energy, but you can do it without a lot of energy.
Yeah. Well, and I would add on to that too, kind of the mobility aspect of that. Like, I'm coming up onto your toes, going down,
Balance stuff.
Balance, standing on
Huge.
one foot. I mean, this stuff, you guys, like my ankles are like, like, this is crazy. That used to be so easy, and I know how important it is. So again, it's just something that, I don't know, it can just add to, okay, I've done something for myself, and
That's
it is
the big
helpful.
part. Especially if you're doing treatment.
Yeah.
I've done something. I've checked something off the list. And you know what? We know there's people in their 20s and 30s, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And 40 with cancer, going through treatment right now and listening. And you might be able to do a little more. That's just the truth. If you are,
Or you might not have lost some of those.
Oh, you haven't lost it. No, I'm not saying from that standpoint. Yeah. Just if you're in treatment. Honestly, just getting up, you might be able to do a little bit more. You would go for legitimate walks during treatment.
Sure. For sure. Yeah. I just was kind of thinking today we'll just talk about kind of 5-minute hacks. And again, part of the thing is like with 5 minutes, maybe it turns into a half an hour, and that's great, right? So with anything. But yeah, and the other thing I would say, for those of you who are moms, young moms, do this stuff, like your kids can join you, they can do this with you, or find a video that everybody thinks is fun or whatever it is. It's certainly...
Make it a contest, make it a game.
Yeah. Have
Watching TV, every 30 minutes, everybody's going to stretch. Or it sounds goofy, but man, it's so healthy for you.
Yeah. So I know I just said you might not be able to go outside, but if you're able, that's another thing. Just go outside, get some sun, get some, even if it's not, you just take in the weather, right? Take in nature, listen to whatever is going on out there. And there's just a peace and a calm to being outside, right, in nature.
And I think anywhere you live, you can do that. We are lucky. I wish I could turn the camera around, but we live in the middle of the woods. And we're on the edge of everything, but we live in the woods and we have walking paths through our woods, and we're just so lucky that you can go out there even by yourself, and you can just go out there and just walk slow, and the stuff you hear and the stuff you see and your senses just get filled up. Now, on the other hand, my daughter lives in Chicago, and I love walking in Chicago or running there, or I ran in Indy.
And even, you're talking about movement, but even sitting outside and listening and
awesome.
Paying attention to what you're hearing.
Yeah, just different inputs, and it just...
Yeah, for sure.
It's not in your house hearing the same things, and I know some of you might have some restraints and you can't do that, but if you can, boy, that's healthy for you.
I agree. And that next one I was thinking of is text a friend. Like, again, you could... I was trying to keep it under 5 minutes, so I thought maybe texting over calling. Usually when I talk to my friends on the phone, it's longer than 5 minutes. But I'm just really talking about, building a relationship or, communicating. Because it's really, I know it's really easy for me to get to just doing my own thing and not really reaching out to other people. And then the more you do that, the less people reach out to you too. So there is a back and forth to that, and it's important to be able to, do that and have those relationships.
And if you are going through treatment, I can tell you, I guarantee people are not texting or calling you because they don't want to bug you.
Yeah, they don't want to bug you, and they don't know what to say.
And they don't know if you're feeling sick.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you reach out to them, that opens up the door for them too. And
absolutely.
Even with a text, that's easy because people can return it whenever they want. But
yeah,
just to get communication is big, and getting things off your chest. And if you just, especially for me, I'm not big into journaling, so that's not my thing. Meditation really is. So for me, having a conversation about that with somebody is a bonus.
Mm-hmm. And again, I know you just said you don't like to write, but if you do like to write, write a note to somebody or tell them how important they are to you or something. You
could write a letter.
You could write a letter.
Is that still legal? Can you mail a letter?
I think it's kind of, I don't want to call it expensive, but the price has gone up for a stamp. Dang. But yeah, how cool is that too? Like, we just don't get that.
When's the last time you received a letter in the mail?
I know.
A handwritten letter.
Yeah. I tend to do, I like to buy blank cards, like blank little thank you, not thank you cards, but blank cards, because that gives me just I don't have to write a ton. I can just write a little.
A letter. Think about that.
I know.
When's the last time?
I don't remember. Yeah. So.
Write somebody a letter.
Ooh.
That's what you should do. You're really going to surprise them.
So, this is another thing. I was just thinking about kind of our space influences us. How we feel about ourselves is also kind of sometimes how our space feels to us. I've been cleaning my office, and it's definitely needed, and it's already feeling better. But sometimes it just starts with cleaning something really small, like, one drawer, one drawer in your kitchen, or one drawer in your bathroom, or whatever, and again, it just is something that you don't have to do a ton. Sometimes that momentum starts you going into the next thing, but other times it's just like, nope, good for me. That drawer is cleaner than it was, and it feels good. So lots of head shaking there, but
no, I totally agree there.
Yeah,
I like being organized.
Mm-hmm.
I like things being where they should be. It is hard to get off your butt and do it and start, especially when something's chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, it does feel good when it's done, and you get to then live in it.
Yeah. The next one I was thinking about is make an appointment, which I don't know about you guys, but I just have this ongoing list in my head of things I need to do. And making appointments is not my favorite. So sometimes it's just do the first part of that, or get it going, and you'll feel better that you have done it. It's kind of feel like.
And you're talking about any kind of an appointment?
Well, I was thinking kind of a medical appointment. I have a few I should make right now. Okay. But yeah, even any kind of appointment or something you've been putting off, just make it. I feel like that's a lot of times the hardest part. Even getting there isn't as bad as, the whole just getting it done.
Do you use lists, to-do lists?
Not a ton. I'm not. So some people get a lot of satisfaction off of crossing off things on their list. That's not so much me. I do sometimes, but they're not do you?
Yeah, all the time. I don't get satisfaction. I rarely cross it off, but I do it on my phone because I forget.
Oh.
If I don't type it in there, right, I'm going to forget.
Okay.
So that is the, okay, it's written down, I won't forget it. Mm-hmm. That's the, for me, instead of month after month and going, oh crap, I got to do that. It's down there and I can refer to it.
So it's an ongoing list, kind of.
It's multiple lists.
Oh.
Like when I'm walking around the house and go, oh, we need that. That goes on the shopping list.
Okay. I like it.
Or driving in my truck and I go, oh, I need an oil change. I type it in there. So the next time I look, I go, oh yeah, I do that. And I should do that. That's because I won't remember that I need an oil change sitting here in the house.
Got it.
For me, that works.
I like it. The plane.
I don't know if you guys can hear that. We live next to a potato field.
Just a little side note about potato fields. If you're going to buy anything organic, I would start with potatoes. Maybe what they're spraying on there is beautiful and natural and lovely, but man, they spray a lot.